Welcome to Artificial Fluency Podcast. I'm Taylor Mitchell, and I'm absolutely thrilled you've joined me today for what I promise will be a game-changing episode for your English listening skills. Today's episode is titled, Understand Any English Conversation Easily. And that's exactly what we're going to achieve together. Over the next hour, I'll guide you through a comprehensive listening journey that will transform how you process and understand English conversations in the real world. Now, I know many of you struggle with listening comprehension. You might understand textbook English perfectly, but when native speakers talk naturally with their contractions, interruptions, slang, and varying speeds, suddenly everything becomes much more challenging. That's exactly what we're going to fix today. Here's what makes this episode special. We're not just practicing listening. We're developing strategic listening skills that will help you understand any English conversation, whether it's fast-paced workplace discussions, casual social chats, phone calls, or even movies and TV shows. I've structured today's episode into 5 power-packed segments. First, we'll master conversational patterns and natural speech rhythms. Then we'll tackle workplace communications where precision matters. Next, we'll dive into social interactions and small talk. After that, we'll practice handling challenging listening situations like phone calls and group discussions. Finally, we'll put it all together with advanced listening strategies. Remember, listening is a skill that improves with focused practice. By the end of this episode, you'll have the tools and confidence to understand English conversations in any situation. Are you ready to unlock your listening potential? Let's dive in. Let's start with the foundation of great listening skills, understanding natural speech patterns. When native speakers talk casually, we don't speak like textbooks. We use contractions, link words together, and have natural rhythms that can be challenging for learners. But here's the secret. Once you understand these patterns, listening becomes dramatically easier. Let me demonstrate with a conversation between 2 friends making weekend plans. Listen for the natural rhythm, contractions, and connected speech. Hey, Sarah, what are you up to this weekend? I was thinking we could check out that new restaurant downtown. Oh, that sounds great. I've been wanting to try that place. What time were you thinking? I've got a dentist appointment Saturday morning, but I'm free after that. How about Saturday evening around 7? We could grab dinner, maybe catch a movie afterward if you're up for it. Perfect. Should we make a reservation, or do you think we'll be open and just showing up? Probably better to book ahead. I've heard it gets pretty busy on weekends. I'll call them this afternoon and see what's available. Awesome. Thanks for handling that. Text me when you've got it sorted. I'm really looking forward to trying their pasta dishes. I've heard they're incredible. Will do. And yeah, my colleague was raving about their Renner. This is going to be fun. Perfect. Now let's break down what you just heard. Did you notice how different that sounded from textbook English? Let me highlight the key natural speech patterns. Contractions everywhere. What are you up to this weekend instead of what are you up to this weekend? I've been wanting to try that place instead of I have been wanting to try that place. We'll be okay instead of we will be okay. Connected speech. Words flowed together naturally. Check out sounded like check out. Grab dinner became grab dinner. This is called linking, and it's crucial for understanding natural English. Casual vocabulary. Instead of formal language that use conversational phrases like up to, check out, grab dinner, catch a movie, up for it. Natural filler words and natural pauses. Notice how O at the beginning of responses, pretty busy instead of very busy, and natural conversation flow. Reduced pronunciation. Going to became gonna, want to became wanna, implied in the rhythm, even if it's not explicitly said. Here's your first listening strategy. Focus on stressed words. In English, we stress the important words, usually nouns, main verbs, and adjectives. The little words, articles, prepositions, auxiliary verbs, are often reduced or connected. Let me demonstrate. In the sentence, I've been wanting to try that place, the stressed words are been, wanting, try, place. Everything else flows quickly between these stress points. practice technique. When listening to natural English, don't try to catch every single word. Instead, listen for the stressed words that carry the main meaning. Your brain will fill in the gaps naturally with practice. Here are more examples of conjunctural speech patterns to listen for. Common contractions: can't, won't, shouldn't, could have, would have, should have, might have, must have. Linking patterns: turn it up sounds like turn it up. Pick it up because pick it up. Let me know flows as let me know. Weak forms: can you becomes can you, for you becomes for you, to be becomes to be. Rhythm practice: English has a musical rhythm. Strong beats fall in stressed syllables with weaker syllables flowing quickly between them. It's like da 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 da. Now, let's practice with a slightly faster conversation. I'll speak naturally, and I want you to focus on catching the main stressed words rather than catching every detail. Excuse me, I'm looking for a gift for my sister for her birthday. She's really into reading, especially mystery novels. Do you have any recommendations? Oh, absolutely. Mystery novels are really popular right now. Or you think of something classic or more contemporary? And if she prefers psychological thrillers or traditional detective stories? I think she likes the psychological stuff better. She likes having some smoothie mind, you know? Perfect. I've got just a thing. There's this author who's been getting amazing reviews lately. Her latest book is about a woman who can't remember the last 3 days. She wants to figure out what happened. Really gripping stuff. That sounds exactly like something she'd love. How much is it? It's $12.99, and we've got it in both paperback and hardcover. The hardcover is a bit more expensive, but it's really beautiful if you want something special for a guest. Excellent. Did you catch the main ideas, even with the faster plays? The key stretch words told the story. Gift, sister, birthday, reading, mysteries, psychological woman, remember, figure out, love, price. This is the power of strategic listening. You don't need to understand every word to follow conversation perfectly. Now let's tackle workplace listening, where stakes are higher and language is more formal. Workplace conversations often include specific terminology, faster pace, and multiple speakers. The key is developing strategies for professional listening success. Listen to this team meeting where colleagues are discussing a project deadline. Pay attention to how they handle disagreement, make suggestions, and coordinate tasks. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining today's project update. We need to address the timeline for the Johnson campaign. Marketing is saying they need 2 extra weeks, but the client deadline hasn't changed. David, what's your assessment? Well, Sarah, I understand marketing's concerns, but I think we can find a middle ground. If we streamline the approval process and run some tasks in parallel, we might be able to recover most of that time. I appreciate that, David, but my concern is quality. If we rush the creative development, we risk delivering something that doesn't meet our standards. Could we perhaps negotiate with the client for a 1-week extension? That's worth exploring. Has anyone spoken to the client about flexibility on timing? They seemed pretty firm during our last call, but circumstances have changed. I could reach out to their project manager today. We've built good rapport, and if I explain the quality implications, they might be willing to discuss options. That would be great, David. And if they absolutely can't move the deadline, I'm willing to bring in a freelance designer to help accelerate the creative work. It'll increase the budget slightly, but it might be our best option. Okay, here's what I'm hearing. David will contact the client about timeline flexibility. Marketing will prepare a backup plan with additional resources. Let's reconvene Thursday to review their responses and make a final decision. Does that work for everyone? Sounds like a plan. I'll have feedback from the client by Wednesday afternoon. Perfect. I'll get quotes from freelancers and have cost projections ready for Thursday's meeting. Excellent. That conversation demonstrated several crucial workplace listening skills. Let me break down the professional communication patterns. Structured discussion flow. Notice how the team leader opened with the problem, asked for assessments, and closed with action items. Understanding the structure helps you follow professional conversations. Diplomatic language. Instead of direct disagreement, they use phrases like, I understand your concerns, but, and I appreciate that. However, this softens potential conflict. Solution-oriented thinking. Each person didn't just present problems, they offered solutions. David suggested parallel processing, marketing proposed freelance help, professional vocabulary, assessment, streamline, run in parallel, negotiate, flexibility, rapport, accelerate, projections. These terms are common in workplace discussions. Clear action items. The meeting ended with specific tasks, deadlines, and accountability. This is typical of effective workplace communication. Here are key workplace listening strategies. Strategy 1, listen for structure. Most workplace conversations follow patterns. Problem to discussion to solutions to actions. When you recognize the pattern, you can predict what's coming next. Strategy 2, identify decision makers. Pay attention to who asks questions, who gives direction, and who commits to actions. This helps you understand workplace dynamics. Strategy 3, note action language. Words like will, should, need to, must, by when signal important commitments and deadlines. Strategy 4, catch qualification language. Phrases like might, could, perhaps, potentially indicate suggestions rather than firm decisions. Now let's practice with a more challenging workplace scenario, a performance review conversation with multiple topics and emotional undertones. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for preparing for today's review. I've been looking at your performance over the past quarter, and there's definitely some positives to discuss, as well as a few areas where we can focus on development. Thank you, Michael. I'm eager to hear your feedback. I know the Peterson project had some challenges, and I've been reflecting on how I could have handled things differently. I appreciate your self-awareness about Peterson. That shows real maturity. Let's start with the positives. Your client communication has been exceptional this quarter. The feedback from Morrison Industries was outstanding. They specifically mentioned your responsiveness and attention to detail. That's wonderful to hear. Morrison has been such a pleasure to work with. I really tried to anticipate their needs and stay ahead of potential issues. That proactive approach is exactly what sets you apart. Now, regarding Peterson, I think the main challenge was timeline management. The deliverables were high quality, but the delays created stress for the entire team. What's your perspective on what happened there? You're right about the timeline issues. I think I underestimated the complexity of their requirements and didn't communicate early enough when I realized we might face delays. I should have flagged potential problems weeks earlier. That's an excellent analysis. For your development goals this quarter, I'd like to focus on project management and early warning systems. How do you feel about taking on additional project management training? I think that would be incredibly valuable. Are there specific courses or certifications you'd recommend? Perfect! This performance review demonstrated advanced workplace listening challenges. Notice how the conversation balanced positive feedback with constructive criticism and how both parties used diplomatic language to discuss sensitive topics. Key listening points. The manager used sandwich feedback, positive, constructive, positive. The employee showed accountability by acknowledging mistakes, and both focused on future development rather than dwelling on past problems. Advanced workplace listening tip. Listen for emotional undertones. Notice uncertainty in the employee's voice, supportive tone from the manager, and how language shifted from nervous to confident as the conversation progressed. Now let's explore social listening skills. Social conversations are more unpredictable than workplace discussions. Topics change quickly, people interrupt each other, and there's often humor, cultural references, and emotional content. The key is developing flexibility and cultural awareness. Listen to this conversation at a house party where friends are catching up. Notice how the topic shifts naturally and how they build on each other's comments. Emma, I'm so glad you made it. How have you been? I feel like it's been ages since we properly caught up. I know, right? Work has been absolutely crazy lately, but I'm so happy to be here. Your place looks amazing. Did you redecorate? Thanks. Yeah, we finally painted the living room. It took forever to choose a color. You know how indecisive James can be. Speaking of work being crazy, how's the new job going? Oh my goodness, it's been such a whirlwind. The people are great, but there's so much to learn. I'm basically drinking from a fire hose every day, but I love the challenge. Did someone say fire hose? Please tell me you're not talking about that disaster of a conference call this morning. Wait, were you on that call too? The one where nobody could figure out how to unmute themselves? Yes! And then when everyone finally got unmuted, we could hear someone's dog barking and what sounded like a blender in the background. I was trying so hard not to laugh. Working from home calls are the best. Last week I had a client meeting where my neighbor decided to start mowing his lawn right outside my window. I had to apologize and move to the bathroom to finish the call. The bathroom? That's hilarious. These work from home stories just keep getting better. Has anyone else noticed how we've all become amateur IT support for our parents since the pandemic started? Oh, don't even get me started. My mom called me yesterday asking why her emails were upside down. Turns out she somehow flipped her entire screen orientation. Fantastic. That conversation showcased the dynamic nature of social interactions. Let me highlight the key social listening skills. Topic fluidity. Notice how the conversation flowed from greeting to home decoration to work to conference calls to work from home to family tech support. This natural shifting is typical of social conversations. Building on comments. Each person picked up something from the previous speaker and added their own experience. Emma mentioned fire hose, friend 3 connected it to the conference call, host shared a similar work from home story. Shared experiences. They bonded over common experiences. Video call disasters, work from home challenges, helping parents with technology. This creates social connection. Humor and storytelling. The conversation included funny anecdotes, exaggeration for effect, like drinking from a fire hose, and shared laughter. Interruption and overlap. Friend 3 joined mid-conversation. People laughed and responded naturally, without formal turn-taking. Essential social listening strategies. Strategy 1, follow the emotional tone. Social conversations are driven by emotion, excitement, frustration, amusement. Understanding the feeling helps you follow the content. Strategy 2, look for connection points. People share stories that relate to what others have said. Listen for phrases like, that reminds me, I had something similar, or, oh my goodness, yes. Strategy 3, understand cultural references. Drinking from a fire hose means being overwhelmed with information. Don't get me started means I have strong feelings about this topic. Strategy 4, expect topic changes. Social conversations rarely stick to one subject. Don't get lost when topics shift, just follow the new direction. Now let's practice with a more challenging social scenario, a conversation with multiple speakers, background noise, and overlapping dialogue. I'll perform all parts, and you can take the active role of listening, paying attention to the diverse perspectives, unpredictable topic changes, and the disruptive background noise. This place is so busy tonight. I can barely hear myself think. Did you guys see the menu yet? I know. It took us 20 minutes just to get a table. But the food smells incredible. What's everyone thinking of ordering? I'm torn between the salmon and the pasta special. The waiter said the salmon is their signature dish, but I had fish yesterday. Go with the pasta. I had the salmon here last month, and honestly, it was just okay. Not worth the price. Really? That's surprising. Everyone raves about this place. Maybe they were having an off night? Good evening, folks. Sorry for the wait. We're absolutely slammed tonight. Have you had a chance to look at the specials? Yes, we were just discussing the salmon. Is it really your signature dish? It absolutely is. The chef sources it fresh daily, and it comes with our house-made herb butter. I definitely recommend it. Though I have to say, tonight's pasta special is also exceptional. It's a lobster ravioli with a truffle cream sauce. Lobster ravioli? That sounds incredible. Is it a large portion? It's quite generous and very rich. Most people find it very satisfying. Can I start you off with drinks while you decide? Excellent practice! That restaurant conversation demonstrated challenging listening conditions: background noise, multiple speakers, interruptions, and competing information. Notice how you had to filter out background noise and focus on the main conversation. This is a crucial, real-world listening skill. Key challenges you successfully navigated are multiple opinions on the same dish, professional versus casual speech, waiter versus customers, background noise and distractions, quick topic changes, menu to experience to recommendations to drinks. Advanced social listening tip. In noisy environments, focus on the speaker closest to you, watch facial expressions and gestures, and don't be afraid to ask for repetition. Native speakers do this too. Now let's tackle the most challenging listening situations: phone calls, group discussions, and conversations with accents or unclear audio. These scenarios test your listening skills because you can't rely on visual cues or perfect audio quality. First, let's practice phone conversations. Without body language and facial expressions, you need to rely entirely on vocal cues and verbal context.
Hello, is this the customer service department? I'm calling about an order I placed last week, and I'm having some issues with the delivery.
Good afternoon, and thank you for calling. I'd be happy to help you with your delivery concern. Could you please provide me with your order number?
Yes, let me find it. It should be, okay, here it is. ACB 77549921. The order was supposed to arrive yesterday, but nothing showed up.
Thank you for that information. Let me pull up your account. I can see your order here. It shows that the package was dispatched on Monday and was expected to arrive yesterday, as you mentioned. Let me check the tracking information. It appears the delivery was attempted yesterday, but no one was available to receive it.
That's strange. I was home all day yesterday. I work from home, so I'm always here. Are you sure they came to the right address?
That is unusual. Let me verify the delivery address we have on file. I show 42 Maple Street, apartment 3B, correct?
No, that's not right. I live at 42 Maple Avenue, not street, and it's apartment 3A, not 3B. That explains why I didn't receive it.
I sincerely apologize for that error. It looks like there was a mistake in our system when the address was entered. I can correct this immediately and arrange for redelivery. Would tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. work for you?
That would be perfect. And just to confirm, you've changed it to 42 Maple Avenue, apartment 3A.
Absolutely. I've updated your address to 42 Maple Avenue, apartment 3A, and I'm scheduling the redelivery for tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. You should receive a confirmation email within the next hour. Perfect. Phone conversations require different listening strategies because you can't see the speaker. Did you notice how both people used verbal confirmation techniques? Phone listening strategies. Strategy 1. Listen for spelling and numbers carefully. The caller spelled out the order number slowly, and they verified the address details precisely. Strategy 2. Expect repetition and confirmation. Phone conversations naturally include more repetition because people can't use gestures or facial expressions. Strategy 3, focus on tone for emotion. The caller's frustration came through in their voice, and the customer service rep's apologetic tone conveyed genuine concern. Strategy 4, ask for clarification freely. Phone conversations make clarification requests normal and expected. Now let's practice group discussions, one of the most challenging listening situations because multiple people speak, interrupt each other, and build on various ideas simultaneously. Okay, everyone, let's start today's book club discussion. We're talking about The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. What did everyone think overall? I absolutely loved it. I couldn't put it down. The way the author revealed Evelyn's secrets gradually was brilliant. Yes, and the twist at the end, I never saw that coming. Though I have to say, some of the Hollywood details felt a bit over the top. Really? I thought the Hollywood setting was one of the strengths. It felt authentic to me, like the author really understood that world. I agree with Sarah. And can we talk about Evelyn's character development? She was so complex, sometimes likable, sometimes frustrating. That's exactly what I was thinking. She made some terrible choices, but you could understand why. The pressure she was under, especially as a woman in that era. And the theme of sacrificing personal happiness for career success, that felt very relevant to today, didn't it? Those are great points. Let's focus on that theme for a moment. Did anyone else notice how the author used Evelyn's relationships to explore different types of love? Oh, absolutely. Romantic love, friendship, family love, but also love of craft and ambition. Each relationship taught us something different about Evelyn. Excellent group discussion practice. Notice how challenging it was to track multiple speakers, competing ideas, and overlapping themes simultaneously. This mirrors real-world group conversations. Group discussion listening strategies. Strategy 1. Identify voices quickly. In the beginning, try to match voices with speakers so you can follow who's saying what. Strategy 2. Follow themes, not just individual comments. The discussion moved through overall impression, plot details, character development, themes, relationships. Strategy 3. Notice agreement and disagreement patterns. Listen for yes and, building agreement, versus really? I thought gentle disagreement. Strategy 4. Accept that you might miss details. In group discussions, focus on main points rather than trying to catch every word from every speaker. Advanced tip: group discussions often have a natural rhythm, periods of individual sharing followed by building discussions. Understanding this rhythm helps you follow the flow. For our final segment, let's put everything together with advanced listening strategies that will help you understand any English conversation, no matter how challenging. These strategies go beyond just understanding words. They're about developing intuitive listening skills that work in any situation. Strategy 1. Predictive listening. Use context to predict what might come next. If someone says, I have good news and bad news, you know the structure of what follows. Strategy 2. Selective attention. In complex listening situations, focus on what's most important for your purposes. You don't need to understand everything. Strategy 3. Cultural pattern recognition. Different types of conversations follow cultural patterns. Small talk, business meetings, complaints, celebrations, each have predictable elements. Strategy 4. Emotional intelligence listening. Pay attention to emotion and tone, not just words. This gives you crucial context for understanding meaning. Strategy 5. Recovery techniques. When you get lost, use specific phrases and strategies to get back on track without embarrassment. Let me demonstrate these strategies with a complex conversation that combines multiple challenges. Taylor as customer, frustrated, speaking quickly. Look, I've been trying to resolve this billing issue for 3 weeks now, and every time I call, I get a different story. First, someone told me the charge was legitimate, then another person said it was an error, and now you're telling me something completely different. Taylor as representative, calm, professional, working to de-escalate. I completely understand your frustration, and I sincerely apologize for the confusion you have experienced. Let me take a fresh look at your account and see if I can provide you with a clear, definitive answer today. Taylor as customer. Slightly calming, but still upset. I appreciate that, but I've heard similar promises before. What I need is someone who can actually fix this, not just apologize for it. Taylor as representative, you're absolutely right to expect a resolution, not just apologies. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to escalate this to our billing specialist team immediately, and I'm going to stay on this case personally until it's resolved. Can you give me your direct phone number so I can call you back today with an update? Notice how I used advanced listening strategies. Predictive listening. When the customer mentioned 3 weeks and different story, I predicted this would be a complaint about inconsistent service. Emotional intelligence. The customer's frustration was clear in their tone and pace. The representative responded to the emotion, not just the facts. Pattern recognition. This followed a classic complaint resolution pattern: problem statement, acknowledgement, action plan, commitment. Your listening homework. This week, practice these strategies in real conversations. Start with easier situations and gradually work up to more challenging ones. Final confidence building tip. Remember that even native speakers don't catch every word in fast-paced or noisy conversations. The goal is effective communication, not perfect comprehension. What an incredible journey we have taken together today. We've covered everything from natural speech patterns to workplace communications, from social conversations to challenging listening situations, and finally, to advanced strategic listening. Remember, listening mastery isn't about understanding every single word. It's about developing the skills and confidence to understand any conversation's essential meaning and participate effectively. Your key takeaways from today. Focus on stressed words and main ideas, not every detail. Use context and patterns to predict and understand. Adapt your listening strategy to different situations. Pay attention to emotion and tone, not just words. Practice regularly with increasingly challenging content. This week, I challenge you to apply these techniques in real situations. Start conversations with confidence, knowing you have the tools to understand and participate effectively. Thank you for spending this hour with me developing your listening superpowers. I'm Taylor Mitchell, and I believe in your ability to understand any English conversation easily. Keep listening, keep practicing, and remember, you're much more capable than you think.
Welcome to English Listening Practice. I'm Taylor Mitchell, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you join me today for what I promise will be an exciting journey toward confident English understanding. Today's episode is specifically designed for B1 and B2 learners who want to bridge that gap between understanding textbook English and comprehending real-world conversations. We're going to tackle the kind of listening challenges you face every day, from workplace meetings to phone calls, from social gatherings to problem-solving situations. What makes today's episode special is that we're focusing on natural speech patterns. You know, the way people actually speak in real life, with interruptions, filler words, overlapping conversations, and varying speeds. This is the kind of listening practice that will truly unlock your confidence. Here's how we'll structure our hour together. We'll explore 5 different listening scenarios, each designed to challenge specific aspects of your comprehension skills. I'll guide you through workplace meetings, phone conversations, social interactions, customer service situations, and casual storytelling. Each segment includes pre-listening preparation, the actual listening challenge, comprehension questions, and detailed vocabulary explanations. I encourage you to have a notebook ready and don't hesitate to pause and replay sections. That's how we learn. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Even if you only catch 70% of what you hear, that's fantastic. Native speakers miss details too, and the key is understanding enough to participate meaningfully in conversations. Are you ready to unlock your confident English understanding? Let's dive in. Our first listening challenge takes us into a workplace meeting. You'll hear a project planning session with multiple speakers discussing timelines, responsibilities, and potential challenges. This is excellent practice for understanding overlapping conversations and workplace vocabulary. Before we listen, let me prepare you for what to expect. You'll hear 4 colleagues: Maria, project manager; David, designer; Sarah, marketing specialist; and Kevin, developer. They're planning a new mobile app launch. Listen for key decisions, deadlines, and who's responsible for what. Pay attention to how they interrupt each other, ask for clarification, and make suggestions. This is how real meetings sound, not perfectly organized, but dynamic and collaborative. Here's the meeting. Taylor. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining our weekly project meeting. Let's start with a quick update on where we stand with the FitTrack app launch. David, how are we doing with the user interface design? Taylor. David. Good question, Maria. The main screens are about 85% complete. I've got the home dashboard and the workout tracking interface finished, but I'm still working on the social features section. The client feedback from last week really changed our direction there. Taylor. Sarah. Oh, speaking of client feedback, I should mention that they loved the color scheme changes. The marketing team thinks the new blue and green palette will really appeal to our target demographic. Taylor. Kevin. That's great to hear, but I need to jump in here. The color changes are affecting some of the back-end integration. It's not a major issue, but it'll add probably 2 days to my development timeline. Taylor. 2 days. Kevin, walk me through what that means for our overall deadline. Are we still on track for the March 15th beta release? Well, if everything else goes smoothly, yes. But you know how these things go. There's always something unexpected. I'd feel more comfortable if we had a buffer of maybe a week. Actually, that might work out perfectly. I was going to say that I could use extra time for user testing on the social features anyway. We want to make sure the friend challenges and group workouts are intuitive. From a marketing perspective, pushing the beta back a week isn't ideal, but it's definitely better than releasing something that's not ready. Our pre-launch campaign is flexible enough to adjust. Okay, so we're looking at March 22nd for the beta. Sarah, what does that do to our full launch timeline? Let me think. If we run the beta for 4 weeks as planned, we'd be looking at a full launch around April 19th instead of April 12th. That's still within our Q1 targets, so I think we're okay. There's one more thing I want to bring up. The fitness tracking integration with Apple Health and Google Fit is more complex than we originally thought. I might need to bring in a consultant for that piece. How much are we talking about? Probably around $3,000 for a week of specialized work. I know it's not ideal, but it's better than me spending 3 weeks figuring it out myself. I vote for the consultant. Kevin, you're already juggling so much with the core app functionality. I agree. Plus, if we nail the health app integration, that's a huge selling point for our marketing campaigns. All right, Kevin, get me a quote by Friday and we'll make it work. David, what do you need from the rest of us to finish the social features? Actually, Sarah, I could use your input on the user engagement features. What would motivate people to invite friends and join challenges? Oh, I have tons of ideas. How about we schedule a quick brainstorming session tomorrow? Maybe 30 minutes? Perfect. Maria, can you send out a calendar invite? Consider it done. Before we wrap up, any other roadblocks or concerns? Just one small thing. The notification system. Do we want push notifications for everything, or should users be able to customize what they receive? Definitely. Nobody wants to be bombarded with notifications. That's a quick way to get people to delete the app. Agreed. Kevin, make sure users can control their notification preferences. Anything else? I think we're good. This was really productive. Same here. I feel much better about our timeline now. Excellent. Let's reconvene next Wednesday at the same time. I'll send out updated project timelines by tomorrow evening. Now let's test your comprehension of this workplace meeting. Question 1. What percentage of the user interface design is complete? "85% complete. David mentioned the main screens are about 85% finished. Question 2. Why does Kevin need extra time for development? The color scheme changes are affecting some back-end integration, which will add about 2 days to his timeline. Question 3. What are the new beta and full launch dates? Beta release, March 22nd. Full launch, around April 19th. Question 4. What external help does Kevin want to bring in? A consultant for fitness tracking integration with Apple Health and Google Fit, costing around $3,000 for a week of work. Question 5. What did the team decide about notifications? They decided notifications should be customizable so users can control what they receive. Let's review the workplace meeting vocabulary. Timeline. Schedule or plan with deadlines. Back-end integration. Technical connection between systems. Buffer. Extra time added as protection against delays. Intuitive. Easy to understand and use. Pre-launch campaign. Marketing activities before a product release. Q1 targets. Goals for the first quarter of the year. Juggling. Managing multiple tasks at once. Roadblocks. Obstacles or problems. Bombarded. Overwhelmed with too much of something. Reconvene. Meet again. Notice how the speakers interrupted each other naturally, used filler words like well and actually, and built on each other's ideas. This is authentic workplace communication. Phone conversations present unique listening challenges because you can't see facial expressions or body language. In this segment, you'll hear 2 different phone calls. First, someone scheduling a doctor's appointment, and second, a customer calling about a billing issue. Phone English often includes specific phrases and a more formal structure. Listen for how speakers identify themselves, state their purpose, and navigate through the conversation when they can't see each other. Here's our first phone call, scheduling a medical appointment. Good morning, Riverside Medical Center. This is Jennifer speaking. How can I help you today? Hi, Jennifer. My name is Michael Torres. I need to schedule an appointment with Dr. Williams for a routine checkup. Of course, Mr. Torres. Let me pull up your file. Can you confirm your date of birth for me? Sure, it's July 15th, 1985. Perfect, I have you here. Now, Dr. Williams has availability next week. Are you flexible with timing, or do you have specific preferences? I work Monday through Friday, so ideally something in the evening or on the weekend. Is that possible? Let me check. Dr. Williams has evening appointments on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This Tuesday, I have a 5:30 p.m. slot available, or Thursday at 6:15 p.m. Tuesday at 5:30 works perfectly. How long should I expect the appointment to take? For a routine checkup, we typically schedule 30 minutes. Please arrive 15 minutes early to update your insurance information and fill out any necessary forms. Got it. Do I need to bring anything specific? Just your insurance card and a list of any medications you're currently taking. Also, if you have any specific concerns you'd like to discuss with Dr. Williams, it's helpful to write them down beforehand. That's great advice. One more question. I recently switched insurance providers. Will that be a problem? Not at all. We'll just need to verify your new coverage when you arrive. What's your new insurance company? It's Blue Cross Blue Shield. Excellent. We work with them regularly. Mr. Torres, let me confirm your appointment. Tuesday, March 12th at 5:30 p.m. with Dr. Williams for a routine checkup. That's perfect. Thank you so much for your help, Jennifer. You're very welcome. We'll see you Tuesday. Have a great day. Now let's listen to our second phone call, a customer service conversation about a billing issue. Thank you for calling Stream Vision Customer Service. This is Alex speaking. Hi, Alex. My name is Lisa Chen. I'm calling about my monthly bill. I was charged twice this month and I can't figure out why. I'm sorry to hear about the billing confusion, Miss Chen. I'll be happy to help you resolve this. Can you provide me with your account number or the phone number associated with your account? Sure. The phone number is 555-0123. Thank you. I'm pulling up your account now. Okay, I can see your account history. You're right, there are 2 charges this month. Let me investigate what happened. I really appreciate that. I noticed one charge on March 1st for $49.99 and another on March 15th for the same amount. I see exactly what you're referring to. It looks like there was a technical glitch in our billing system on March 15th that caused some customers to be charged twice. This definitely shouldn't have happened. Oh, so it wasn't something I did wrong? Not at all, Miss Chen. This was entirely on our end. The good news is that I can process a refund for the duplicate charge right now. Would you prefer the refund to go back to your original payment method, or would you like account credit? I'd prefer it to go back to my credit card, if that's possible. Absolutely. I'm processing the refund now. You should see the $49.99 credit appear on your statement within 3 to 5 business days. That's wonderful. Will this affect my service at all? Not at all. Your service will continue normally. I've also added a note to your account about this issue, so if you have any questions when you receive your next bill, any representative will be able to see what happened. You've been so helpful, Alex. Is there anything else I need to do? Nothing on your end, Miss Chen. I'm also going to email you a confirmation of today's call and the refund processing just for your records. Perfect. Thank you so much for resolving this so quickly. It's my pleasure. Is there anything else I can help you with today? No, that covers everything. Have a great day. You too, Miss Chen. Thank you for choosing Stream Vision. Let's check your comprehension of these phone conversations. Question 1. What days does Dr. Williams have evening appointments? Tuesdays and Thursdays. Question 2. How early should Michael arrive for his appointment? "15 minutes early to update insurance information and fill out forms." Question 3. What was the cause of Lisa's billing problem? A technical glitch in the billing system on March 15th that caused some customers to be charged twice. Question 4. How long will it take for Lisa's refund to appear? Three to 5 business days. Question 5. What additional service did Alex provide to Lisa? He added a note to her account about the issue and will email her a confirmation of the call and refund processing. Key phone conversation vocabulary. Pull up your file. Access your information in the computer system. Confirm your date of birth. Verify your birthday for security. Flexible with timing. Able to accommodate different times. Switched insurance providers. Changed insurance companies. Verify your coverage. Confirm your insurance is active. Billing confusion. Problems with payment or charges. Technical glitch. Computer system error. Duplicate charge. Being charged twice for the same thing. Process a refund. Arrange to return money. For your records, for you to keep as documentation. Notice how both conversations followed a similar structure: greeting, identification, problem statement, solution, and confirmation. This is typical for professional phone calls. Social situations present different listening challenges because conversations are more casual, people speak simultaneously, and topics change quickly. You'll hear snippets from a house party where friends are catching up, meeting new people, and having multiple overlapping conversations. Listen for how people introduce themselves, change topics, and navigate social interactions. Pay attention to the informal language, interruptions, and how speakers build rapport with each other. Here's our social gathering scenario. Jamie. Hey everyone, thanks so much for coming to our housewarming party. Make yourselves at home. There's food in the kitchen and drinks on the back patio. Sam. Jamie, this place looks amazing. I love what you've done with the living room. That couch is gorgeous. Oh, thank you. We actually found it at a vintage furniture store downtown. It was such a steal. Riley. Did someone say vintage furniture? I'm obsessed with thrift shopping. Where was this store? It's called Retro Revival on 5th Street. They have the most incredible selection. Sorry to interrupt, but Jamie, you have to tell me about these appetizers. Did you make them yourself? I wish I could take credit, but they're from that new deli on Main Street, although I did make the spinach and artichoke dip from scratch. The dip is incredible. I've already had 3 helpings. I'm definitely going to need the recipe. Hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Morgan. I work with Jamie at the marketing firm. Nice to meet you, Morgan. I'm Riley, Jamie's college roommate. How long have you been working together? About 8 months now. Jamie's been such a great mentor, always willing to help with projects and answer questions. Aw, you're too kind. Morgan's being modest. She's one of our most creative team members. Speaking of work, how's everyone handling the whole work from home situation? I'm still trying to figure out a good routine. Oh, I can totally relate. The first few months were rough. I kept getting distracted by household chores and Netflix. I actually love it. No commute, I can work in my pajamas, and my cat keeps me company all day. The flexibility is great, but I miss the office interactions. Video calls just aren't the same as face-to-face conversations. That's exactly why I wanted to have this party. We all need more in-person social time. Jordan, are you guys talking about remote work? I just overheard someone mention it. Yeah, we're comparing experiences. What's your take on it? I'm a teacher, so I had to adapt really quickly during the pandemic. Online teaching was definitely a learning curve, but it taught me so much about technology. I have so much respect for teachers. I can't imagine trying to keep students engaged through a screen. It was challenging, but kids are surprisingly adaptable. Some of my quieter students actually participated more in online discussions. That's fascinating. I never thought about how different personality types might respond differently to virtual versus in-person environments. This is exactly the kind of conversation I was hoping for tonight. It's so interesting to hear everyone's perspectives. Totally agree. Hey, has anyone tried the dessert yet? I brought homemade chocolate chip cookies. You made cookies? I'm definitely trying those. I've been on a baking kick lately too. What's your favorite thing to bake, Casey? I'm obsessed with making sourdough bread. It's become my pandemic hobby, along with about 1 million other people. Oh my gosh, sourdough! I tried to maintain a starter for like 2 weeks and completely killed it. It's trickier than it looks. I went through 3 starters before I figured it out. Casey, you should teach a sourdough workshop. I bet everyone here would be interested. I would definitely sign up for that. I love the idea of making bread from scratch. Same here. There's something so satisfying about creating something with your hands. Now let's check your comprehension of this social gathering. Question 1. Where did Jamie find the vintage couch? At a vintage furniture store downtown called Retro Revival on 5th Street. Question 2. What did Jamie make from scratch for the party? Spinach and artichoke dip. Question 3. How long have Morgan and Jamie been working together? About 8 months. Question 4. What subject does Jordan teach? The conversation doesn't specify. Jordan just mentions being a teacher who had to adapt to online teaching during the pandemic. Question 5. What hobby did Casey develop during the pandemic? Making sourdough bread. Social gathering vocabulary. Housewarming party. A party to celebrate moving into a new home. Make yourselves at home. Relax and be comfortable. Such a steal, a great bargain or good price. Take credit, claim responsibility for something good. From scratch, made completely by yourself. Mentor, someone who guides and teaches. Being modest, not bragging about achievements. Can totally relate, completely understand the feeling. Learning curve, period of learning something new. Surprisingly adaptable, able to adjust better than expected. On a baking kick, enthusiastic about baking recently. Maintain a starter, keep sourdough culture alive. From scratch, made completely by yourself. Notice how conversations flowed naturally from topic to topic. People joined and left discussions organically, and speakers used lots of informal expressions and contractions. Customer service interactions require specific listening skills because you need to understand problems, solutions, and detailed information. You'll hear a conversation between a hotel guest and the front desk staff about a reservation mix-up. Listen for how the problem is identified, the steps taken to resolve it, and the customer service language used to maintain a positive interaction despite the issue. Here's our hotel customer service scenario. Taylor as front desk Alex. Good afternoon and welcome to the Grand Plaza Hotel. I'm Alex, the front desk manager. I understand there might be some confusion with your reservation. Taylor as guest, Patricia. Yes, I'm Patricia Williams. I made a reservation for a deluxe suite for tonight through Friday, but the person who checked me in said you only have a standard room available. Taylor as front desk, Alex. I sincerely apologize for the confusion, Miss Williams. Let me pull up your reservation and see exactly what happened. May I have your confirmation number? Taylor as guest, Patricia. Of course, it's GH4587-2024. I booked this 3 weeks ago specifically because I'm hosting a small business meeting in my suite tomorrow morning. Taylor as front desk, Alex. I see your reservation here, and you're absolutely right. You booked a deluxe suite. Let me check our current availability. I can see what happened. There was a system error yesterday that affected several reservations. This is entirely our fault. Taylor as guest, Patricia. I appreciate your honesty, but I really need this suite. My clients are expecting to meet in a professional environment. Is there anything you can do? Absolutely, Miss Williams. I'm going to make this right. We do have a deluxe suite available, but it's on the 12th floor instead of the 8th floor you originally requested. Would that work for you? The floor doesn't matter, as long as it's the right type of room. What about the rate? Will I be charged extra for the inconvenience? Not at all. In fact, I'm going to honor your original rate and provide a complimentary upgrade to our executive suite at no additional charge. It's larger than the deluxe suite and includes access to our executive lounge. That actually sounds perfect for my meeting. Will I need any special access? I'll program your key card for executive lounge access. Also, since you're hosting a business meeting, would you like me to arrange for additional amenities in your suite? We can provide a coffee service, bottled water, and notepads. That would be wonderful. How much would that cost? Given the inconvenience we've caused, I'd like to provide that at no charge as well. What time is your meeting tomorrow? It's scheduled for 9 a.m. Shall I let you know how many people will be attending? That would be helpful. I'll also make sure housekeeping sets up your suite appropriately for a business meeting. How many attendees are you expecting? 4 people total, including myself. We'll probably need about 2 hours. Perfect. I'll arrange for seating for 4, and I'll have the coffee service delivered to your suite at 8:45 a.m. Is there anything else I can do to ensure your stay meets your expectations? You've been incredibly helpful, Alex. I really appreciate how you've handled this situation. It's absolutely my pleasure, Miss Williams. We value your business and want to make sure you have an excellent experience despite this initial confusion. One last question. If I need anything else during my stay, should I call the front desk or is there a direct number? You can certainly call the front desk, but I'm going to give you my direct extension as well. I'll be working until 6 p.m. today, and I'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow, so please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything at all. Thank you so much, Alex. You've turned what could have been a disaster into a positive experience. That's exactly what we aim for, Miss Williams. Enjoy your stay, and I hope your business meeting goes wonderfully tomorrow. Let's test your comprehension of this customer service interaction. Question 1. What was the original problem with Patricia's reservation? Pause 10 seconds. She booked a deluxe suite but was told only a standard room was available. Question 2. What caused the reservation mix-up? Pause 10 seconds. A system error yesterday that affected several reservations. Question 3. What upgrade did Alex offer Patricia? Pause 10 seconds. A complimentary upgrade to an executive suite with access to the executive lounge. Question 4. What does the executive lounge include? Pause 10 seconds. Complimentary breakfast, afternoon snacks, and evening cocktails from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Question 5. What additional services did Alex arrange for Patricia's business meeting? Pause 10 seconds. Coffee service, bottled water, notepads, appropriate seating for 4 people, and coffee delivery at 8:45 a.m. Customer service vocabulary? Confirmation number, reference code for a reservation, system error, computer malfunction, entirely our fault, completely our responsibility, make this right, fix the problem properly, honor your original rate, charge the originally agreed price, complimentary upgrade, free improvement to better service, at no additional charge, without extra cost. Program your key card, set up electronic access. Additional amenities, extra services or features. Given the inconvenience, considering the trouble caused. Meets your expectations, satisfies what you hoped for. Value your business, appreciate you as a customer. Don't hesitate to reach out. Feel free to contact me. Notice how Alex used empathetic language, took responsibility, offered multiple solutions, and went above and beyond to turn a negative situation into a positive experience. Our final segment features storytelling, which helps you practice following narratives with descriptive language, emotions, and sequential events. You'll hear me tell a personal story about a travel adventure that didn't go as planned. Stories often include past tense verbs, descriptive adjectives, and emotional language. Listen for the sequence of events, the problems encountered, and how they were resolved. Here's my travel adventure story. I have to tell you about the most chaotic but ultimately amazing travel experience I've ever had. It was supposed to be a simple weekend getaway to San Francisco with my best friend Emma, but it turned into something completely unexpected. We had planned everything meticulously: flights, hotel reservations, restaurant bookings, even tickets to Alcatraz. We were so organized, or so we thought. Everything started going wrong from the moment we arrived at the airport. Our flight was delayed by 3 hours due to a mechanical issue. Not ideal, but we figured we'd just arrive late and adjust our plans. Little did we know this was just the beginning of our adventure. When we finally landed in San Francisco, it was pouring rain, and I mean absolutely torrential, the kind of rain that soaks you through in seconds. We hadn't packed umbrellas because the weather forecast had predicted sunny skies all weekend. So there we were, two soaking wet tourists trying to hail a taxi in the middle of a downpour. After 20 minutes of futile attempts, we decided to take the subway to our hotel. Big mistake. The subway was packed with equally drenched commuters, and we had no idea which line to take. Emma pulled out her phone to check the map, but of course, her battery was dead. My phone had about 10% battery left, so I frantically searched for directions while trying to keep it dry. We ended up on the wrong train, going in the opposite direction of our hotel. By the time we figured out our mistake and made it to the hotel, it was 9 p.m. We were exhausted, soaked, and starving. But here's where the story gets interesting. When we approached the front desk, the clerk looked at us sympathetically and said, "You two look like you've had quite an adventure." When I explained our situation, she upgraded us to a suite with a beautiful view of the Golden Gate Bridge, completely free of charge. She also recommended a cozy restaurant within walking distance that served the most incredible seafood I'd ever tasted. The next morning, we woke up to brilliant sunshine. It was as if the previous day's chaos had been washed away with the rain. We spent the day exploring Fisherman's Wharf, riding the famous cable cars, and laughing about our disastrous arrival. But the best part happened on our second day. We were walking through Chinatown when we stumbled upon a street festival that wasn't in any of our guidebooks. There were traditional dancers, amazing food vendors, and local artists selling handmade crafts. We spent hours there, talking to locals and learning about the neighborhood's history. We met an elderly man named Mr. Chen who had lived in Chinatown for 60 years. He told us stories about the neighborhood's evolution and even taught us how to make traditional dumplings at his family's restaurant. It was magical, the kind of authentic experience you can't plan. On our final day, we did make it to Alcatraz, but honestly, it paled in comparison to our spontaneous adventures. The prison tour was interesting, but meeting Mr. Chen and discovering that hidden street festival, those were the moments that made the trip unforgettable. When we were flying home, Emma and I realized that all our careful planning had actually limited our possibilities. If everything had gone according to plan, we would have missed the most wonderful parts of our trip. Sometimes the best adventures happen when you're forced to go off script. Now let's check your comprehension of this travel story. Question 1. How long was their flight delayed? "3 hours due to a mechanical issue." Question 2. Why didn't they have umbrellas? The weather forecast had predicted sunny skies all weekend. Question 3. What went wrong with their subway journey? Emma's phone battery was dead, Taylor's phone was almost dead, and they ended up on the wrong train going in the opposite direction. Question 4. How did the hotel clerk help them? She upgraded them to a suite with a Golden Gate Bridge view for free and recommended a cozy restaurant nearby. Question 5. What was special about Mr. Chen? He was an elderly man who had lived in Chinatown for 60 years, told them stories about the neighborhood's history, and taught them how to make traditional dumplings. Question 6. What lesson did they learn from their trip? That careful planning can limit possibilities and that the best adventures happen when you're forced to go off script. Storytelling vocabulary. Meticulously, very carefully and thoroughly. Little did we know, we didn't realize at the time. Torrential rain, extremely heavy rain. Soaks you through, makes you completely wet. Futile attempts, unsuccessful efforts. Equally drenched, just as wet. Frantically, in a panic or hurry. Sympathetically, with understanding and compassion. Brilliant sunshine, very bright, beautiful sun. Stumbled upon, discovered by accident. Paled in comparison, seemed much less important. Go off script, deviate from the plan. Unforgettable, impossible to forget. What an incredible journey we've taken together today. We've practiced listening to workplace meetings, phone conversations, social gatherings, customer service interactions, and personal storytelling. Each segment challenged different aspects of your listening comprehension skills. Let's review what we've accomplished. In the workplace meeting, you practiced following multiple speakers, understanding project terminology, and tracking decisions and deadlines. The phone conversations helped you develop skills for understanding speech without visual cues and navigating formal communication structures. Our social gathering segment exposed you to casual, overlapping conversations where topics change quickly and speakers interrupt each other naturally. The customer service scenario taught you to follow problem-solving processes and understand service industry language. Finally, our storytelling segment challenged you to follow a narrative structure, understand descriptive language, and connect with emotional content. Here are my key tips for continuing to build your listening confidence. First, embrace the messiness of real conversation. Native speakers interrupt, use filler words, and don't always speak in perfect sentences. This is normal. Second, focus on understanding the main message rather than every single word. Even if you miss some details, you can often understand the overall meaning from context. Third, pay attention to speakers' tone and emotion. These nonverbal cues provide crucial information about meaning and intent. Fourth, practice with various English accents and speaking speeds. Real-world English comes in many forms, and exposure to diversity will make you more confident. Finally, be patient with yourself. Listening comprehension develops gradually, and every practice session builds your skills. Your homework this week: choose one segment from today's episode and listen to it twice more. The first time, focus on understanding the main ideas. The second time, pay attention to specific vocabulary and expressions you might have missed. Then, try to use 3 new phrases from today's episode in your own conversations or writing. This active practice will help move vocabulary from your passive understanding to active use. Remember, confidence comes from preparation and practice. Every time you challenge yourself with authentic English content, you're building the neural pathways that will help you understand real conversations effortlessly. Thank you for spending this hour with me working on your listening skills. I'm Taylor Mitchell, and I'm genuinely excited about your English learning journey. Keep practicing, keep challenging yourself, and most importantly, keep believing in your ability to understand and communicate in English. Until next time, keep listening with confidence.